Discipline is something that I struggled with for most of my life. I have a little bedhead here, because that's just because I roll up. I roll up out of bed and then I do the work like right as I wake up. So, anyways, where was I? So discipline is something that I really struggled with for most of my life, and honestly, I still do sometimes. I still do. I think everybody does a little bit, and I think a lot of us have this misconception of discipline. In fact, I think it is more discipline is actually that's a weird thing about it is that discipline isn't, it's more of a byproduct. It's not really the thing you go after. I need to be more disciplined. I just need to be more disciplined. No, bro. You look. I I am in this. I'm in the go. I'm in to be a little bit more transparent. I'm in the ghostwriting. I'm a ghostwriter. I've been growing. I've also been growing a social media audience and growing my newsletter. Um, and I have like 120 subs on my newsletter as of this. I have like 1,200 followers on Threads, and I'm very early on into the journey, as you can see. And there are people there. And I've met people. I'm a guy who lives. I'm a single dude. I'm in my early 20s. I live with my parents. I have a job as I have a job that's paying me like $30 an hour, and I get a lot of freedom from it. I can set my schedule like on a monthly basis. So I am very lucky. I'm very lucky that I have these circumstances in place for me to be able to do these things. I know other people who are not so lucky, who are like just in the red. Some of them are even having children at this point, and they are making it work. All this to say is that it really comes down to how bad you really fucking want it. Because you could be working 10-hour days. You could be and have like three kids, and you're barely making like 25 an hour, and you can still be successful. It all depends on how badly you want it, right? And because the guy because the guy who's itching to become a successful entrepreneur, to get financial independence, the guy who's just so fucking sick of where he's at, and wants this thing really badly, and believes that he's capable of doing it, he's gonna find a way. Even if it's like squeezing in 30 minutes of work per day towards his business or whatever the fuck vehicle it is that's gonna get him the fuck out of that shithole that he's in. They're gonna figure it out, right? So I wanted to circle back on whatever the fuck discipline is, and I want to repeat what I said, and that is it is a byproduct. It is a byproduct of something bigger. It's a downstream thing. And people are like, how do I become more disciplined? And it is a wrong fucking question. Upstream of that, you have to ask yourself, what do I want out of life? What do I honestly want out of life? And that can be a really difficult question to ask, because nobody really asks you that. It's more like what do my parents want out of me? What does society expect of me? And then I'm just gonna follow that. And most people, they don't like to think, they don't like to believe that they do, because it's really like everybody likes to think they're unique and different. But like really truly ask yourself, what the fuck do I want out of life? Like seriously, like you, as of the recording of this video, life is limited. We're still mortal. So what do you want out of life? Seriously, like do you like what and dig further. What do you not want out of life? What kind of life would you hate to live? And when I started asking myself these questions, I realized that holy shit, I am living the life that I would hate to live. I'm stuck in school. I have to I have to show up when I don't want to show up, which I guess is discipline, but I have to go to this thing that I don't give a shit about. And then I'm just gonna have to be forced to work for an employer who won't hesitate to lay me off, especially in aerospace, because that's where I was in. I was in aerospace engineering, and the way it works is like once those contracts are up, it could be bye bye. And I even talked with an aerospace engineer early in the early days before I even joined, but that's another topic entirely. Is that what I want to do? Do I want to fucking get approval from someone because I want to get vacation? Do I want to deal with bullshit from coworkers? My coworkers right now are lovely, but I've heard stories from other people whose coworkers are not. For example, my dad has a coworker who is more senior than him, and she never shares the holidays. She always takes all the holidays, and like she deserves it. She's senior, but damn, I would not want to. I don't want to play that game. It just sounds like a losing fucking battle to me, and I realized I was playing that game and that I needed to switch to something else. So that level of clarity, and I could probably even refine that even more. But that level of clarity, you want to start aiming for that level of clarity in your life. Like, what do you not want out of life? And you might realize that you are already living that life that you really do not fucking want. If you are living that life that you want, then fuck, dude, you could just turn this video off and forget about it. Honestly, like, congratulations. I really mean it. I'm happy for you. But I'm guessing if you somehow came across this video, then you are utterly dissatisfied with some aspect or just the entirety of your life. And you have to ask yourself why. Like, so why do I hate my life right now? What sucks? And what does life look like when it doesn't suck, when it's amazing? Like, and I want you to get super fucking detailed. Like, for me, I had this image in my head and it makes me cry. It makes me fucking cry just thinking about it. I'm gonna tear up. But I imagine I have this house in Japan that I've fixed up, like those akiyas. I fixed up this Akia in this really beautiful part in the Japanese countryside, probably about 20 minutes out of Tokyo. So it's still relatively close, but still out of the city. And then I just have all my cousins there that I grew up with, and we're just all having a good time in the house that I fixed up with my loving wife and my loving family. And then once that's all done, you just fly back to the US or we fly back to some other part and we keep on going on our little travels. I want you to get to that level of detail because that is the thing that is going to get you going, get you to start thinking in that direction. And then that other part where that's like, what the fuck do I not want in life? That is going to be the thing that gets you up out of bed even on your worst fucking days. I promise you. I promise you. So, discipline. Discipline, discipline, discipline. When you are after your purpose and when you are after like the things that you need to go after, that you know that you were born to do, discipline becomes a byproduct. For example, like I never really woke up at 4 a.m. regularly throughout my entire life. And I've been doing it and I've tried to because I'm like, oh, I want to be like David Goggins, right? But that is not like a deep enough spiritual reason to to wake up at 4 a.m. I mean, it's a good way to, right? But if you don't have like this internal like depth of understanding of what it is that you want out of life, which is why it's really important that we have like a concept of spirituality and all that sort of stuff. But we can go into that in another video. If you don't have like this deeper inner like in your bones, like, oh, I'm gonna go after this fucking thing and I'm gonna make my life amazing, whatever that is. Discipline doesn't come, right? You're not going to show up for the things that you know you need to do because you just won't. You just don't want it that bad enough, and it's really that simple, right? And I'm not saying this to like insult you or like say that you have any excuses or anything, but like if you really want it that badly, no matter what your circumstances, you're going to make it happen. You're going to make it happen. And I like I said, but discipline. Discipline comes from you realizing that, oh fuck, I need to do this because yeah, I just need to do it. There's no other rationale where shit, I just have to do it. And I don't really know how to explain it any better than that because when you realize it just becomes like when you have this purpose, it just becomes like your new framework of logic, right? Because for me, like my thinking is like, dude, I gotta wake up at 4 a.m. so I can just get all my work done in the morning, and it feels fucking good, anyways. And there's nobody around to disturb me, and there's nobody awake to disturb me, and it just feels fucking great to have basically like 75% of my work done by like 7 a.m. Right? And then most of my work done, I try to finish up by 1 o'clock, like a little bit noon to 1 o'clock. And dude, that I have 5 to 6 hours for the rest of my day just to fuck around because I already finished all my work by 1 p.m. It's incredible. It feels great. And I'm still early on in my entrepreneurial journey. So that's just because I have to work. That's just me having to work even more, right? Like I won't be running a ghostwriting agency for long. That's just to keep me running while I'm still figuring out this personal brand stuff. So I think I think discipline is just a byproduct of you having a deeper purpose, of you understanding like what it is that you were born, that you like whatever responsibility you can call it, like karmic, dharmic or karmic responsibility that you have, that or whatever you're, that it's just you going after it and you realize, oh shit, I need to do these things. Like it's not even like it's like being confident. You don't really think about being confident if you're confident, right? Like when you're walking, you're not worried about the ground underneath you falling out from underneath, right? Because that's confidence, right? You're not thinking about those things. And same with the relationship between discipline and like doing getting shit done. When you have this deeper purpose, like you know it's not really a question of whether you want to do those things or not. You just do it. So that's what discipline is. Is discipline, as Danko says, comes from clarity, and that clarity comes from what do you want out of life and what do you not want out of life, right? This thing's going to be pushing you forward and on your worst days, and this one's going to be pulling you. This is what you're aiming towards and building towards. Peace.